Meeting has been advertised to be held in person and online using Zoom with login and call-in information posted on our website. The meeting will be conducted this evening by the vice chairman, who will be assisted by an employee managing the Zoom site. Tonight's video and audio is being recorded and Robert's rules apply. To offer comment, you must be recognized by the vice chairman. The meeting participants on Zoom, please use the chat function to be recognized. Text your name and address to the moderator. Your request to speak will then be passed on by staff to the vice chair to be recognized. Once recognized, please unmute your microphone. After speaking, then please mute your microphone. East Hempfield Township public comment rules will apply for all public comment. You must be a resident or business owner in the township to speak. You must identify yourself by name and address before speaking and sign the guest log for meeting minute purposes, or follow the chat procedure already discussed. Individual comment is limited to 3 minutes and must be about the agenda item being discussed, with the exception of public comment when non-agenda items can be addressed. No action will be taken on any non-agenda item of a non-emergency nature during the public comment period for non-agenda items. Okay. Our first agenda item at this point, let's move on to our first agenda item, which would be the moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance. Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. This evening, we have two very special agenda items this evening. First item would be the swearing in of a new East Hempfield Township Fire Police person. At this point, could I ask Josh Gullum to step forward?
Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that I will perform the duties of fire police officer for Hempfield Fire Department in East Hempfield Township. Faithfully and with fidelity. Taken and sworn and subscribed only the 7th day of May, 2025.
Taken and sworn and subscribed the 7th day of May, 2025.
Okay, excellent. Congratulations. Thank you for the hell of work. Appreciate it.
He doesn't need one, he just needs to sign one. I just had two there for, we'll make sure that the fire company gets their copies. Thank you, Josh.
Next up on the agenda, I think that everyone knows that, or hopefully knows, that this is Police Week 2025. With Police Week, we have a proclamation that we'd like to make on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. And we'll start our procedures with this. Resolution number 16-2025, Township of East Hempfield, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, 2025 National Police Week Proclamation. Whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as Police Week. And whereas the members of the law enforcement agency of East Hempfield Township Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of East Hempfield Township. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas the East Hempfield Township Police Department has grown to be a modern and scientific law enforcement agency which unceasingly provides a vital public service. Now, therefore, the Board of Supervisors call upon all citizens of East Hempfield Township and upon all patriotic civil and educational organizations to observe the week of May 11th through 17th, 2025 as Police Week with appropriate ceremonies in which all people may join in commemorating police officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. And we further call upon all citizens of East Hempfield Township to observe Thursday, May 15th, 2025 as Police Officers Memorial Day in honor of those peace officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives or have been disabled in the performance of their duty. Duly ordained and adopted this 7th day of May, 2025 by the Board of Supervisors of East Hempfield Township. So that's the proclamation. With that, I think we have ceremony that we'll move on to at this point. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chairman, if we could have a motion to accept that proclamation resolution while we're waiting.
We need some discussion first. No.
You probably want the motion first and then discussion if you'd like.
Okay. All right. With that, having said that, with that, I'll hear a motion to approve the National Police Week proclamation.
So moved.
A motion from Mr. Brubaker. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Let's have a second from Mr. Russell. Any discussion?
Just been on the board now for over 16 years. I'm on my third police chief, outstanding police chiefs we had over the years here. But just a lot of changes occurred in the township, but the one thing that has not changed is the quality of the police force we have here in this township. I just want to personally thank you after all these years of sitting up here and with the job you guys do and how much really, really appreciate the work that you do. You keep us safe as a community. You visit my house at times with false alarm and other things that have occurred, and you're out there when there's accidents, and you just do an awesome job. And from deep down, I really appreciate it, and I thank you personally, and thank you on behalf of the board.
So being a Hempfield grad and living in this township for over 30 years now, I'd just like to just express my appreciation for the longstanding tradition of just citizen safety and protection here in the township. And it's been an outstanding place to live, and this department is a big reason why that is such a quality place to live here. So just thank you very much.
Mr. Russell hit upon the right word, I believe. Awesome. I believe we have an awesome group of individuals on our police department, keeping things safe for us. And with that, I'll turn it over to the chief to tell us about it.
Before I dive into my speech, I just wanted to add to what the board said. Mr. Wigglesworth called me earlier today, apologetic that this is his favorite meeting of the year, that he couldn't be here tonight. He's moving his daughter home from college, but just wanted to express his appreciation to all the officers of the department. And again, he was sorry that he could not be here tonight. So. Before we get to the awards, I want to take a moment to say a couple things about police officers and Police Week in general as well. In 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day and the calendar week next week, in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. Established by a joint resolution of Congress in 1962, National Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. If you would, please join me in a moment of silence to honor the memory of these officers and families and friends that they left behind. Thank you. Tonight, we typically present the Community Policing Award and the Officer of the Year Award. We're not going to do that this evening, surprise. We're going to do something a little bit different. But before I get to that, I just wanted to mention that throughout the last year, we have issued numerous awards to officers for a variety of different things that exemplify the police work that they do, anything from unit citations to merit citations to life-saving awards. All these are for major incidents that officers have been involved in throughout the year. We're not going to go down the list tonight, but I did want to just take that moment to note all of that. This police department has some of the most dedicated, talented, and professional officers anywhere. I say thank you to each one of them, but also to the families who support their loved ones and the department. Without the family as the backbone of the officers that work here, the department wouldn't be what it is. So thank you for the family. So first I'll get to the Community Policing Award, which is something that we're going to do a little bit differently here tonight. This award is usually awarded to an employee who developed community partnerships, identified and solved problems, implemented new initiatives and programs, or promoted meaningful results from partnerships and problem-solving skills. This year, instead of just recognizing one person, we decided to just recognize the overall agency efforts in community policing. The outstanding men and women of the police department exemplify the very best of what policing can and should be, and have embraced the heart and mission that we have, pride and service. Community policing is not just a component of what we do, it's the backbone of our agency. It's the foundation upon which trust is built. Without strong community ties, enforcement would be disconnected. But with genuine partnerships, every call, every traffic stop, every criminal investigation becomes an opportunity for us to build a safer community. It means showing up, not just when something goes wrong, but being present when things are going right. It means building relationships that last beyond the call for service. When we talk about community policing, we're talking about the core of our mission at East Hempfield Township, showing the community that we are here with them, not above them. Sure, we do coffee with the cop, community presentations, national night out, Bigs and Blue. And it's easy to measure stats like arrests, traffic stops, or response times. But the impact of a trusted conversation, a familiar face, or a helping hand when in need, that's harder and can't be quantified and far more powerful. I occasionally share with you, the board, accolade emails that I receive about our officers. I just share some because it's a weekly occurrence that we get phone calls or emails from people who these officers have touched people's lives in a variety of different fashions. The impacts that we make are felt days, months, or years later, and sometimes come back around to give these officers a sense of purpose. You guys are all the reason that our department stands strong. Community policing is the backbone of East Hempfield Township Police Department and this agency. Your work keeps us upright, trusted, and respected. You've made this department stronger and our community safer. You've turned challenges into opportunities and helped redefine what it means to protect and serve. For 2024, you are all worthy of the Community Policing Award. So thank you. The Officer of the Year Award. The annual Kenneth Nightingale Officer of the Year Award honors Kenny's legacy. Kenny left us too soon and is greatly missed. We thank his mom, Marlene, who comes every year to this meeting. She's part of our department and part of our family and always will be. This award is presented to the officer regardless of rank or assignment who best exemplifies the department's sworn personnel during the year. The selection is based on professionalism and exemplary service during the previous year. Every officer should feel worthy of being selected based on his or her own performance, but only one is chosen. gonna let Lieutenant Poley take over. Watch your head.
We are very pleased to announce that the 2024 Officer of the Year is Detective Tyler Clisham. Unfortunately, you have to stand here while I read this about you. All right. I'm going to read just how the award nomination was written by the person who nominated him. Detective Clisham has quickly become an integral member of the Criminal Investigation Division. For the year 2024, Detective Clisham investigated crimes ranging from theft to homicide. Detective Clisham always strives to be professional and represent the department in a positive manner. Detective Clisham has frequently attended training and has been able to bring his knowledge back to further not only his, but others' cases throughout other members of the department. In January 2024, Detective Clisham was contacted by patrol due to a robbery that had occurred at a Turkey Hill store. Detective Clisham was advised that the suspect was in custody and was requested to take over the investigation. The suspect subsequently confessed to Detective Clisham his involvement in the incident, as well as another robbery that had occurred in Manor Township. In late 2023, Detective Clisham was assigned a case that involved multiple child victims being sexually abused by their parents over the course of several years. The investigation required very extensive work to include interviews of multiple victims. Detective Clisham also had to locate both suspects, one of whom had moved to the state of Washington, and the other one had changed her name and moved to northeastern Pennsylvania. Detective Clisham spent endless hours, not only on the investigation, but also locating both individuals after the charges had been filed and arrest warrants obtained. And he facilitated getting them into custody where they were, which was nowhere near Lancaster County. In April 2024, Detective Clisham was the on-call detective and was contacted by patrol and advised of an incident where a male produced and discharged a firearm. Detective Clisham spoke with the victim and was able to obtain a statement. As a result of the investigation, Detective Clisham completed charges and obtained an arrest warrant for the male for aggravated assault and other serious offenses. In May 2024, Detective Clisham was again contacted by patrol and this time advised of a child drowning death. Detective Clisham had to conduct multiple follow-up interviews and work closely with the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office to determine if a crime had occurred. At the conclusion of the investigation, there were no charges were warranted in this tragic case. In July 2024, Detective Clisham was assigned a home invasion robbery case. In this case, he worked very closely with the Pennsylvania State Police and other local police agencies. And at the conclusion of the investigation, was able to charge 4 individuals for their involvement in a home invasion robbery here in the township, as well as other jurisdictions. As the investigations concluded, Detective Clisham was part of a task force to serve search warrants on multiple locations. During execution of the search warrants, one of the suspects opened fire on police, wounding a state trooper. The individuals involved in this incident were obviously all very violent offenders. In November 2024, Detective Clisham responded to a homicide that occurred on Dell Lane. 2 victims were gravely wounded in a violent stabbing attack, one of whom ultimately died as a result of her injuries. Detective Clisham spent a significant amount of time investigating, interviewing, and following up with this incident, and ultimately charging the individual who's responsible. That's like the highlights of his 2024. There's more, but I think what I just shared with you conveys the kind of work this man does. And this is his work product day in and day out. So Detective Clisham's commitment and attitude has shown that he is a huge asset to this department and is deserving as recognition as Officer of the Year for 2024.
Flag for you. First we have your certificate.
I'd like to shake all their hands. Let's go for it. You lead, we'll follow. I want to make sure.
For you. Finch Jeweler for years and years has been a proud supporter of our awards program. So we do have a personally engraved Citizens Watch for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Chief, that's it?
That's it, sir.
Okay, could I ask? Thank you. Thank you. Could I ask all the officers to come up through here? We'd like to personally shake your hand. Before you get out, I know you guys want to get out of here, but.
Good, yeah. Hi there. So you're one of the few I actually recognize. Hello there. Hello. Hi, Chad. Thank you. Thank you. Hello there. Yep, hi.
Right, more days.
I want to take a picture of it out in the lobby, right?
We're in our picture. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, nice touch.
That was a good call.
Okay, we'll continue on with the business portion of our meeting this evening. Our next item on the agenda is our consent agenda, approval of routine and repetitive business matters that tend to need little or no review, discussion, or deliberation. Consent agenda items are provided to all board members for review in advance of our meeting. Any questions about the consent agenda?
Just I'll be abstaining for item G because I wasn't at the last meeting.
Gotcha. Okay.
None for me.
No. All right, so we can. My motions.
Here.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions from the audience about the consent agenda? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through F as presented.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Russell, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Brubaker. Motion from Mr. Russell, second from Mr. Brubaker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next up is a motion to approve agenda item G, the minutes as presented. Mr. Russell will abstain. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda item G?
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Brubaker, second from Mr. Bennett. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Okay. With that, we'll move on to the business portion of our evening. Special event approval, Hempfield Center, Try for Life and roadway indemnification. Mrs. Garber.
Hempfield Rec Center has submitted a request to use township roadways for their annual Triathlon for Life. This is a sprint race that will be held on June 16th, 2025. There are no roadway closures, however, there are traffic delays. The course utilizes both East and West Hempfield Township roadways. It is the same course as last year, and the services provided by the police department and fire police will be the same as in years past. This is a community event that we do not typically have any issues associated with, and it would be staff's recommendation that the board approve the Hempfield Area Recreation Center special event application for the Sprint Triathlon for Life to be held on multiple roadways throughout East Hempfield Township on June 15th, 2025, with any cost to be determined and invoiced after the event.
Okay, thank you. Any comment from the board?
None.
Okay, any comment from the audience? Okay, hearing none, then I'll hear a motion to approve the Hempfield Rec Center Try for Life and roadway indemnification event on June the 15th, 2025, and authorize the signature on the indemnification agreement.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Brubaker,
Second.
second from Mr. Russell. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay. Next up is our Planning Commission membership ordinance, and this is an ordinance change, I believe. Mrs. Schweitzer?
So we had a
anything to add?
conversation in April and a subsequent vote by the board to change the number of planning commission members from 7 to 5. We then found out that we do have an ordinance in place which stipulates it was 7, so we needed an ordinance to amend to reduce it to 5, which is what you have before you. So it reduces it from 7 to 5, and then it allows us to change it by resolution should we decide to change it to make it higher or lower.
I like the resolution feature.
Yeah, makes it
Like nice
easier.
flexibility. And I guess for the public's benefit, the reason we're doing this, one, we've had a drop in activity.
Right.
And it's to be respectful of the volunteers that we have. So we have a number of alternates and we have some vacancies, and this is going to shuffle things up. It's really not going to change who's attending at the meeting.
We used to meet twice a month, and we have since started meeting once a month, if maybe not at all, because of the number of things we have on the agenda are very minimal.
Yeah. Mr. Brubaker? No, okay.
No problem.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. This gives us more flexibility because we can go anywhere from 5 to 9 now, if we would ever need that. So it's a good move, I think, from our standpoint. Any comment from the audience? Okay. Hearing none then, I'll hear a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-02, amending the number of planning commission members from 7 to 5.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Russell,
Second.
second from Mr. Brubaker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Next up is old business. Any old business that we want to discuss this evening?
None.
Anything from the audience? Nothing? Okay. New business. Any new business tonight?
No.
Again, hearing none, let's move on to public comment. Anything on public comment? Please step forward.
Yes, thank you. My name is Darrell Gerke. I live at 1015 Devonshire Road, and I've signed in before the meeting.
Thank you.
My subject this evening for some observations and then follow-up questions is the conditions of our road in East Hempfield Township. First of all, I'm pleased that I know with the Board of Supervisors through the, and I don't think I have the right name, the street department, you designate certain roads that are going to be paved in the next year, and you've really followed through on that, and we have pretty good roads. And the street department has a tough job trying to keep up with all the potholes and in the winter plow snow, and I think they're doing a great job. One of the things that has bothered me, though, is after a street is paved, the manhole covers are not raised. Even though they may mill the road, they always seem to have the asphalt higher than the manhole covers. And to the best of my knowledge, there are rings that they can put on the top of the present manhole to raise the lid. Some of the roads that you drive down are Church Street, which was just recently paved after the Water Authority had to go through and rip it all up, and it's beautiful paving. But as I approach Landisville, I don't drive it enough to memorize where all the manhole covers are, and then it's boom, 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 as I'm going down the road. And I'm thinking, oh, this is such a shame, a great road. Marietta Avenue, I drive enough, I've memorized where the potholes, the man covers are, and if anybody's following me, they probably think I'm intoxicated because I weave back and forth so I don't drive over them. And coming here this evening, coming down Nisley Road, there are a number of manhole covers that were not raised recently when they recently paved that. My question is, and I'm sure there are different negotiations go on, whether it's a PennDOT controlled road or a township road, but is there any agreement in the contract that as to work performance for the paving company that they can try to raise the manhole covers to make it a smoother road?
Well, I'll let Mr. Russell
You-
chime in on this one.
Your point is well taken on the township roads. And we can have a discussion with staff about that. Do keep into mind that Church Street and Marietta are state roads, and PennDOT can put risers on their manholes if they choose. But the township has really no say on what happens on the state roads. We try to influence things, but we really don't have too much say in it. We do control Nisley Road, that is a township road. So your point's well taken on the township roads.
Yeah, we'll be happy to take a look at them if you give us an idea where they are. But it is a balancing act because we can't make them too high because they'll be hit by the plows.
Yes.
So
I'm
it's,
well aware of that.
yeah.
There's
But
a
we'll certainly take a look if you want to give us the locations.
Yeah, we're evaluating our paving program, so there's some things that we're looking at making some tweaks to. You try and keep a manhole about a quarter inch, half inch low. So there's always going to be a little bit of a bump because in the winter months, if you make it flush, what happens in the winter months, because they're a metal ring, they'll actually rise a little bit higher than the pavement and then they get hit by the plows. And so, and we're one of the municipalities that does what's called dropping plows. Our plows actually sit on the street and they ride on the street, which it's a safety thing. It prevents icing. So a lot of municipalities like the city of Lancaster, if you remember some of their ice storms, they ride their plows high to avoid manholes, but then they have bad ice problems on their streets. There's a trade-off with everything that you do with paving. So on our end, we err on the caution of plowing, which means our manholes will always have a little bit of a bump no matter what we do with how we do things. Because like I said, we drop plows with our work. But if the drop starts becoming an inch or something like that, then that is definitely a problem. Because that is much more of a drop than we intend. Most of our streets we are reconstructing also involves milling. So the goal is usually to try and get the manhole pretty close. What was done on both Marietta and Church Street by PennDOT was some mill, but was also raising the road up too. And so that's what makes those manholes even more pronounced with their bumps with what state did. But your point's well taken.
I understand. I agree with you. I've plowed enough snow in parking lots and I've observed plowing trucks on the highway. I understand completely. The other thing is that just recently happened in Landisville on Cooper Avenue and Stanley Avenue. One of the utilities has been in there. I don't know if it's UGI or who it is. They've evidently trenched about 2 feet wide, pretty much down the middle of the road where both lanes of traffic hit that trench. They've done a crappy job of, I'm assuming it's a temporary repair and that it eventually will be fixed, but oh my, that is terrible. I have noticed that some of the utilities, and there again, I don't know what the rules and regulations and what understanding you have with utilities, but when they dig out into the roadway to tap into the sewer or the water or whatever, then that becomes a pothole. And I've noticed here lately, some of the utilities have been out and have paved that over. An instance on Nolt Road between Hermosa and Signal Hill, right at that curve, there were 3 areas that were rough. 2 of them were a utility. Someone has been in there just recently and paved it. They did a great job. I don't know who it was. And then there's a third one that's been there for years that no one's ever touched. Our township, nobody has worked on that one. And it's right in the curve, and you have a tendency to drift wider into curve and boom, boom, you hit that frequently. So just some things that I've observed and had some questions about, so.
Well, as someone who also drives Marietta Avenue trying to avoid those sewer plates, I understand what you're saying. And is there any procedure or process where we could approach PennDOT on something like this?
Not really. They know that's an issue. It's just, they march to their own
Okay,
drumbeat at this point.
well,
We can't control what we do in our township roads, and we
Yeah.
can look at some of these things, but
just continue to let us know, what you see out there, and we'll try to address the issue if we can.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time and listening to me, and thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Gerkel, the last one you mentioned, what was the road?
You
That was
said
never
on the
fixed?
curve.
That's on Nolt Road
On Nolt.
between Hermosa and Signal Hill, right at the curve.
You said that one was fixed, though, or,
Well, there were 3 of them.
oh, there's 3 in that area. Okay.
Two were fixed by utility, and then the third one must not have been their work because they didn't touch it. So I'm assuming either we find out who it is or our own crews have to go out and fix.
Thank you.
thank you.
The Public Works Director works quite well and effectively with most of the utilities. The problem is the subcontractors that some of the utilities are using. And particularly the area at Cooper and Stanley is a LASA project, and their subcontractor, Perry, has struggled quite a bit to get them to do what he needs them to do on our roadways.
That's a common theme. UGI, you can repeat that with UGI too.
It's a little better with UGI. I mean, he has an understanding, but it takes a while. Yeah,
But when some of the UGI subs can leave a mess too.
yes. And it takes forever, it seemed, yeah. But we'll check out that one on Nolt.
Thank you. Anything else for public comment?
Issues. I'm not sure, can you please, I'm sorry.
We know.
Colleen Jacobson, 2009 Chapel Foots Drive, it's been a while. 2 issues. One is, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make the traffic meeting next week, but motorcycle, the sound, the loudness of motorcycles coming up Centerville Road. I mean, they zoom up the hill or they zoom from the light, if it's green, really fast, but they're loud. I mean, you can hear them, like if they're going south, you can hear them like way far away after they pass, after they go up Centerville Road. I mean, the sound is so loud. And all times of the night, it's really, it's not good. But is there a law about the loudness of motorcycles?
It would fall under inspection regs with modifications.
Okay. I just wanted to just bring that up. And of course, the trucks have increased, but they've decreased now since I've been noticing with the nice weather, you're outside more now. But, a lot of trucks still coming back and forth. But it's a lot less than it used to be.
There should be an improvement with the signs we put up. so.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Next issue was the vacant lot that's on Harrisburg Pike where the apartment complex is going to be eventually, Brookside? Is that what it's called, Brookside?
Mhm.
When is that going to be developed? Anytime soon?
Everything has been filed and ready to go. It's really a question of economics with the developer when he's ready to move
And
forward.
how, do we give them a time frame between,
No, his plan is good for 5 years after it's recorded, so they have time.
okay, all right.
And it can be extended.
Yes.
Excuse me?
And it can be extended too if
So that
necessary.
can be vacant for years?
It
and
could
years and
be.
years.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
All right,
thank
thanks.
you. Anything else, public comment? Okay, hearing none, then let's move on to the manager's report.
Yeah, it's me. Okay, so the two projects that are almost finished, Centerville Road South, believe it or not, is almost finished. They are winding down, doing the paving, and they, of course, are going to have a substantial punch list that they'll have to work through to get that closed out. Old Orangetown Road is very close. I need the PennDOT representative to come out and basically say, yes, everything's finished and close that one out. The two active ones are South Chickies, the 283 Commerce Hub at Spooky Nook and the Spooky Nook interchange to 283. That's not a township project, it's a developer project, but that is in full swing. And South Chickies is currently closed and will probably be closed until the 12th of May. I believe they did start the ramp work for ramp E, so that's now closed, and they will slowly start moving around to the other ramps until they're finished.
It's even showing up on Google Maps now.
Okay, good.
So
When they're done, there should be 2 traffic signals at those interchanges, which will ease the burden of traffic getting on and off 283. The Route 72 and Lidditz Road also, these are going to be temporary signals that are going to be placed at Route 278 or 72 and Lidditz Road. They are in full swing. They do need to close the road one more time to do some of the stormwater work. It's going to close on the 21st and then reopen on Friday, the 23rd. The Her Park is in a similar situation. It's very close to being finished. They had a slight delay because of the rains that came through, but they have done the paving. They have done the seeding, and it's just a matter of working down that punch list. The zoning hearing board meeting for the Code Book Validity Challenge, we are still negotiating between the township and the developer, so hopefully that can get resolved. In Old Dora Park, the contract's been signed. We are starting to order equipment. We are still waiting for a construction timeline from Lobar, the contractor that's been selected, but we hope that that should start midsummer. The community map project is finished and should be in your mailboxes as well as the residents. You have copies at your table this evening. I think it's a job well done. Congratulations to Diane and Patricia, our receptionist, for getting that accomplished. Church and Knoll Road, there's really nothing to talk about there and won't be until they open the governor opens the RCAP funding. And at that point, then they will start activating and getting our grant submission to them. There is no word as to when the governor might do that. Recreation Authority, the Pro Shop project. We are working on financing options with that project. The Rec Authority is moving forward. We have a design, getting cost estimates, and then, of course, funding for that project to see if it's even feasible.
Are they exploring possibly running a loan or a bond or something? Is their authority?
I am talking to some of the bonding, the brokers, to help us through that process, yes, a
Okay.
bond. We also potentially need a new irrigation system, which is another $1 million. And so we might want to try to roll everything up into one funding source and maybe do a bond as opposed to a bank loan.
Okay.
The Nestle Road Basin is one of those also that is very near completion. That's a huge hole in the ground off of Nestle Road where the gardens are. That should look pretty nice after the end of the summer as the grass grows in and we start the planting. Well, the plantings I think are already done. So that should be a great project. I'm not sure. I guess with all the rain, I haven't heard anything that there was a problem with the golf course. I would imagine with the amount of rain we've had in the last couple of days that golf course would have been flooded had we not had
There
that
was
basin.
no observed flooding in Mill Creek. So
That's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
I
mean,
saw the
it's not
basin,
quite a
I
job.
saw the basin with quite a bit of water in it.
Yeah.
When we had the heavy rain, it was doing,
So it's
doing a
holding
pretty
it.
good job, the way it
Yeah.
looked from the road, from Nestle anyway.
So yeah, there was I wasn't aware of any road closure on Church Street nor any road closures on Knoll or Snapper Dan with those bridges there. So
And I heard nothing from the golf course itself about problems.
it
So,
just sounds like it's doing its job.
right. So that's good. That's the end of my report unless there's questions.
I have no questions.
No
I
question.
think we're good here. Any questions from the audience about the manager's report? Okay. Hearing none, I guess at this point we could adjourn our meeting for anything else for the good of the cause?
Nope, nothing.
All right, meeting's adjourned, 7:47.
Good job. Realistically, 15-minute meetings.